Hi, Nancy here, and I want to talk to you about how to do a gauge swatch. And gauge is the one thing that makes most knitters absolutely cringe. They will do everything to avoid them. Uh, they feel they're a waste of time. Some people have done them and they find they didn't yield the proper results, so they say, why do them? The reason I think most people have problems with gauge swatches is I believe they don't do them correctly. I think the 4x4 gauge swatch, for lack of a better term, is worthless. People don't like doing gauge swatches, therefore they do what I call best behavior knitting, which means they just sit and think about every stitch. It's like, I'm going to do this really nice and slow and perfect so I don't have to do it again. That's where the problem comes in. To get an accurate gauge, you need at least a 6x6 gauge swatch, or something the size that's 20% of the circumference of the sweater or garment you are making. That is, if it was a 34-inch sweater, I believe that's like 6.8 inches. I usually find 30 stitches by 30 rows is adequate. However, it's important that you look at your gauge swatch as your map for how your project's going to turn out. The other thing I do is I always block my gauge swatch. Fibers can change. They can change a lot. And it's better to find out before you knit it than after. And then I take my gauge on that blocked piece. I just block it. I use soak, I let it dry naturally, and take my measurements. Some of the good designers out there are actually putting in the pattern blocked gauge, which I applaud them for it. The other thing I use is, this is a Skacel gauge checker. I love it. These are the Addy Turbo people. And the reason I like theirs is because they have little teeth here. You see that? And it kind of keeps you honest. It doesn't let you kind of pull it a little bit. Oh, it looks like 2 inches to me, because we all can do it. I know I've done it. This bites into the fabric, and it doesn't let you kind of sneak some extra or take away a stitch. This is a 2-inch swatch, and what I do is I will go in various parts. What I find, however, is that my true gauge, and I believe you will as well, is halfway up. I can prove it to you because where I started, here we go. We have in stocking here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 5.5 here, maybe 5 1/4. Okay. When we go up here, what do you know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, by the time I got up here, I kind of forgot I was doing a gauge swatch. I relaxed. This is my true rhythm. This is what my sweater is going to end up being knit up, is my rhythm, not where I started thinking gauge swatch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got about 5 1/4. However, by doing this bigger piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down here I am pretty consistent with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. And I'm an experienced knitter, and this happens to me. It's bound to happen to you. The bigger the gauge, the less likely you are to have problems with the final fit of your garment. It's worth doing. So please make your gauge swatches as large as possible. Measure them in multiple places, and I promise you, you're going to have much better results with your gauge.